Hi, everyone. It's my great pleasure to have with us today Roxanne Varzi. Roxanne is professor of anthropology in the School of Social Sciences and also in the School of Humanities in the Department of Media Studies. So she's an eclectic intellectual with interests in anthropology and filmmaking, I guess. So Roxanne today is going to demo with us several dishes that are used to break the fast during Ramadan. Roxanne has Iranian origins, and as you may know, the Ramadan just started a few days ago, on Thursday, I believe. So, Roxanne, take it your way.
Welcome to my kitchen. All right. Well, I just wanted to start by thanking you for doing this and for grocery shopping. I have not been in a grocery store, which is really hard for me because when I travel, one of the first things I like to do is go into the grocery store, the local grocery store. I love grocery stores. And I love different spices, and I am not a formally trained cook, and I did not actually grow up cooking. My dad was Iranian, my mom's American, and he did most of the cooking. So I never really learned traditional Persian cooking. And the first thing I did after getting my PhD was to walk across Broadway at 116th Street in New York City, walk into the library, and check out a cookbook. And I was completely overwhelmed. So I'm dyslexic, and just all the directions, and it was too much for me. So I'm a visual person. I like watching people. Once I watch someone do something, then I like to kind of do my own thing. So one of my favorite things, the first, and what I'm doing mostly is from the Arab world, not so much from Iran. My stomach is more inclined, well, it's inclined to both worlds, actually. But one of the first things I fell in love with when I studied in Cairo as an undergraduate was roasted cauliflower and hummus sandwiches.
Wow.
And so what I want to make today is something that you can eat as a full meal if you make rice, and you can even ground some lamb. I can show you how to put it all together in the end. Or you can have it as just a snack. You can have it for lunch. It's very versatile, and it's really easy also to store. And it involves some things that you might have in your pantry, though I understand that garbanzo beans are now hard to find on the black grocery market. But I don't know. And I will also say, this is probably maybe for another cooking show, but I also follow a low FODMAP diet because I have a sensitivity to garlic and onion, which is the worst thing in the world, and wheat. So everything I'm making is without garlic and onion, but I will show you where you would ordinarily put in the garlic or the onion. So I think I'm just gonna, and one of the funny things when we first met, I don't know if you remember this, Annalisa, but we were at dinner. Yes. And we were chatting, and I told you that I use a profound amount of olive oil when I cook. And I remember you looking at me and saying, Roxanne, no, you only need like a tablespoon. So just cover your eyes.
I will.
I douse everything in olive oil. Yeah, because for me, it's like, that's it. You know, you put olive oil on something and you can't go wrong. And of course, I cook it way too high a heat. So basically, this is really good for you guys out there who think you can't cook, and you're suddenly in your apartment by yourself, and you can't, you know, rely on other people. I am that person who is like that. So take heart, it can be done. All right, so bless you. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open up this lovely bottle of olive oil. It's chosen by yours truly, so it must be amazing. All right, so I have already prepped the cauliflower. So what I did is I just opened up a head of cauliflower. That was my son's thumb. I chopped it up, and I like to have kind of big, you know, chunky, so that if you put it in a sandwich and you are a meat eater, maybe this is a nice replacement. I also, right now, I like the idea of going a little more vegetarian, just because I think we're seeing, especially with what's happening now, how much stress we've put on the planet with our carbon footprint. And I also think that, I don't know, hopefully it won't get to the place where we're growing our own food, but as much as you can eat fruits and vegetables and things like that, it's just good for us. My husband's an acupuncturist, and the other thing that we've been doing in our house during this period is he's been concocting a tea with reishi mushroom and jujube and licorice and all of these things that are supposed to really help with viral infections. So I asked him if he would come and show us that, but he said it's really hard to find the ingredients and you kind of have to be a licensed acupuncturist to order the herbs. But one thing you can do is drink licorice tea. And actually that brings me to that. I think we should probably start with Ramadan before I get right into the food. And one of the things, so the way that you break the fast, and I will tell you that I'm not a religious person. I think of myself more as a spiritual person. Anyway, okay, so we're going to start with tea.
Okay.
I'm going to cheat a little bit. So if there are any Iranians out there watching, you're going to be mortified. But I'm going to give a simple way of making Iranian tea. So I have boiled the water the easiest way possible, okay? Usually you would do it in a really nice, samovar or kettle where then you could put the pot on top to keep warm. Because the way that you make Iranian tea is you don't make a pot of tea and then just pour it. You make kind of almost like a syrup of tea. Mm-hmm. So my favorite tea, which actually I'm almost out of, you can get it at Wholesome Choice, and it smells great. It's do ghazal, and it's an Earl Grey, and it's a loose leaf. Iranians wouldn't be caught dead using a tea bag. So you just take, I take about this much tea. Mm-hmm. And I put it in my pot, and then I fill it up maybe like halfway with water, and then I let it sort of sit on top of, traditionally it would be on the stove, warming up and brewing for a little while. And for Iranians, the really important thing about tea is the color. So you can have your tea full-bodied and really dark, or you can have your tea very light. So usually when you go and have tea at an Iranian house, they'll ask you, do you want it full color or do you want it a lighter color? So the other thing that's really important for Iranian tea, and I cannot find it right now, so I'll just bring a regular tea, just a drinking glass. I don't know where all of our tea, obviously we've been drinking a lot of coffee lately, but it's really important to have a glass you can see through so that you can see the color of the tea. So that is one thing, and I'll bring my handy tea thing. So the other thing is it's really important to, and I want to stress the spiritual part of Ramadan, which is to really go inside, be a little bit more meditative. One of the things that I find most upsetting right now, aside from the fact that there's a virus that is killing a lot of people, is that, the world hunger problem has doubled. And there are going to be a lot of really hungry people after this, and people are starving. And I don't think it's a bad idea to practice a fast and really, get into gratitude about having access to food and being able to, go to a grocery store or have a friend go to a grocery store or get things online. We're so privileged here that I think the nice thing about Ramadan is to take a minute and to really experience that, not as a deprivation so much as a form of gratitude, really. Right. So my husband, when he first came to the U.S. from Iran, he was in Massachusetts, and he fasted, and his parents weren't really supportive of that, but he did it. And then he'd never fasted before, so he just ate a ton of food and ended up in Mass General. So he wanted me to let people know that if you are going to fast, the important thing is to break your fast gently, right? So one of the first things you want to do for people like us who drink a lot of caffeine is to get the caffeine back in the system. Right. and then the sugar, right? So one of the really easy, nice ways to break a fast is with dates. They're they're lower on the glycemic index. So what I like to do is open up the date. It's super easy. You just open up the date. And I have walnuts from Iran, actually, that my husband brought back from the last trip. You just stick the walnut in there. Super easy. And we've washed our hands. That's really important these days. Yes. You stick the walnut in there, and then you pour yourself a cup of tea, and you sip your tea. Whoops. You sip your tea and you eat your date very slowly. And that would be, how you begin to break your fast. So here's your tea. Yeah. And there's your date. Rumi, do you want a date with your pita? You can also put it in some pita.
Ah, yeah.
The pita for the plants.
Okay. Anyway, so there's your date. Put it under cold water and stop cooking. All right. So there we go. So enjoy your tea and your date. So that would be the first thing that you would do. So I am going to now move to the things that need to be cooked, because what I'll do is I'll put them in the oven and then we can meet back up and I'll put everything together so that you can, with mezze, what I love really is the presentation and just putting all the extra stuff and then just grabbing at it. So I'll show you all that later. But let me start with the cauliflower, because that and the potatoes need to go in first. So I showed you the cauliflower. What I'm going to do, and it's just my own thing really, I remember visiting a friend in Berkeley when I was an undergrad, and she showed me how to roast vegetables because, again, she thought it was pathetic I didn't know how to cook. And I thought it was the most amazing thing. It's so easy to do. So, okay, don't look, Annalisa. I'm putting a little less than usual. Okay.
But Roxanne, you won't believe it, but anytime I pour olive oil, I think of you. I do. I really do.
That is so funny. Oh my God. I don't know if that's good or bad.
It's good. I mean, I have a very nice memory of a recollection of that dinner.
That was lovely. That was lovely. And I think of you too. Every time I'm pouring it on, I'm telling you. All right, so I love this stuff. It's a Mexican chili lime. It's very mild and it's got a little nice sour punch. You can also get it at Trader Joe's. Almost everything I'm cooking with, except for the dates and the Persian cucumbers. Yes, Rumi.
So I just wanted to say, quick question. For all the students that are watching this, like,
come into the camera.
I don't think everybody has what you have.
No, they don't. That's why I'm giving them different options. It's very hard to find stuff. So any chili will do, really.
Yeah.
This is my favorite. I also love, I haven't been to Mitsuwa Market in 2 months, but and it's almost gone, but the lemon pepper is also really amazing. I love that. So you can use that as well. So I just really, again, I sprinkle a lot on there. And then I want to give a shout out to my lovely neighbors in Uni Hills that have lemon trees, because we have been blessed with having fresh lemon, and everyone is so generous. You know, it's been really nice to just watch.
It's really nice for them to just let us walk over when they're not there and pick them up their keys.
All right. Anyway, so here we go with the lemon. So. Yeah, I'm not putting too much. You get the full flavor of being at home as a professor these days.
Absolutely. Right. I totally sympathize. I have 2 kids.
we actually homeschool, so this is my life all the time.
Yeah, that was something new to us, whereas I know that you have been homeschooling, but yeah, that was new to us because that's actually what has happened. They only very rarely have meetings with their teachers and schoolmates. So it's an entire new adventure.
It's new for us too, because believe me, we don't actually homeschool at home.
I see. I see.
There's a lot of outside activity. You don't realize until everything gets, Rumi's saying, until everything gets canceled, you don't realize how busy you've been. I personally love that we're getting quieter, but all right, so then it's in the dishwasher. Hang on. Then I just take my pan and I just throw, it's really easy. I just throw the cauliflower on there and I just do this. Yeah. And then I stick it in an oven at 375 degrees.
Okay, perfect.
And I let it slowly roast. If you feel like flipping them, you can flip them. If you don't want to flip them, you don't have to. And you know, some people like them a little bit more tender. Some people like them a little bit crunchier. If you like the crunch on it, you can leave it longer. If you want them more tender, then take them out earlier. My rule of thumb is the minute I can smell it, I come and take them out. So I'm terrible for recipes. So when I write up the recipe, you know, it's very ethnographic. It's like participant observation here. No. So I'm going to to save dishes, since I'm going to use mostly the same spices, I'm going to take the potatoes. And you got some baby potatoes. So we're going to do that. And they're great stuffed in pita too. I love spicy potatoes. So these, I'm going to, where is it? Here it is. So here's some harissa sauce, which is, I think, originally Moroccan. And this is excellent with potatoes. I actually haven't tried this one before. Actually, I'm going to take out I'm going to take out the bigger potatoes and just do the really small ones so that they'll cook faster. I'm going to just mix some harissa. We'll see how this goes. And olive oil. And actually the harissa, for people, if you have people who don't like spice, Rumi, please. If you have people who don't like spice, then you can do the harissa after. So this is a bit of an experiment for me too.
And for anybody that's not honey, it's actually amazing for plants.
Yes, it's okay. So I do the same thing. I just put them on there, and I'm going to put them in here.
Wonderful.
So super easy.
I think you said something very important, that you said you're terrible with recipes, but it's not true, because one thing that I would like to come across from all this is that recipes are not like protocols. The food we prepare is something that comes from, our personal histories and traditions, and something that we saw maybe other people make, and we learned from experience, and it's a form of know-how that it's like playing an instrument or, doing something sporty. You know how to do it because you have practice doing it, and it's very difficult to verbalize and conceptualize all of that. So yes, you can give instructions, but then you have to go by rules of thumb, like when you smell the roasted veggies, or the right moment to take them out, or other things like that. And I think it's really important to say that about cooking, that it's a form of know-how. So our recipes that we are showing in this show will come with some instructions, but they are not meant to be protocols, and we like people to experiment.
It's funny because the recipes, when I cook things simply, I tend to prefer them too, because I'm cooking to what my body and what my spirit needs are in that moment. I also remember the stories behind every recipe or not recipe, but lesson that I got from somebody. I remember a friend of mine, I'll give a shout out to Robert Koo. He wrote a book actually on kimchi and Korean culture around food. And he took me down to Chinatown and showed me how to buy a bag of mussels and make moules frites. And that was something I ate for ages. And it was something I loved. And I couldn't believe how easy it was. It was this restaurant meal that I could do in my own home. And it was simple. And I love gadgets. I have an Insta cooker, or whatever that pressure cooker thing is. I have slow cookers. I have gadgets like you wouldn't believe. I have a soy, milk maker, but I really don't use them.
Right.
The thing I use most is just these and the stove. And we like to camp too. So I really like to think about how to make things for camping, and I might as well be camping in my own kitchen. That's kind of how I cook. All right, so the next thing I was going to show you is hummus, because it's a really nice side dish. So what I've done is I've just, I rinsed a can of garbanzo beans, and I just dumped them in the Cuisinart. Speaking of gadgets, this is one I can't live without. And this is some place that you could add garlic if you're somebody who is able to eat garlic. Garlic's a really important part of hummus. I don't do it because I'm allergic. But what I do liberally, some people put water in their hummus. I put a ton of lemon. If fresh lemon are available, I just do lemon, and a lot of it. So I'll put like an entire lemon. And I like to kind of do this thing where you're getting as much out of the lemon as possible. Anyway, so look at that.
Wow, I love that gadget. I don't have it, but it's also a way of releasing tension after a day of work. Just squeeze.
It's awesome. I love cooking. It's very meditative, and it's one of those places, exactly like you said. The protocol it's instinctive almost. It's not somewhere where you're getting tested or you have to have like works cited.
Yeah.
You can plagiarize and like, you can be multimodal. You could actually go off course, be interdisciplinary, and, like, bring so like when it's like this whole thing about like, oh, this is Iranian cooking or this is Arab cooking. It's not. It's just, this is Roxanne cooking. And it comes from doing a year abroad in Cairo as an undergrad. It comes from living in Iran. It's not, for me, things just don't have boundaries in that way, and I don't think it's useful to think of it that way. So, and it's nice in the kitchen, you don't have to. So, okay, so I did that. And then what I want to do, and so here's some tahini, which is an amazing thing. And you just put, I don't know, I put a dollop of tahini, and this tahini is really fresh and
oh, that was
my
fantastic. God. It almost looked like a lamb.
She is a little lamb, and she's a saint. Let me tell you. I think quarantine's been hardest on her. Anyway, so I put that in, and tahini is great too. You can just, I know, she's very cute, sweetie. Okay, I'm going to continue with the cooking. Anyway, so you put that in, and then you just whip it up. It's so easy. And a lot of this food, okay, here we go, Annalisa, I forgot. Rumi, please be quiet, sweetie, please. Oh my God, he's put glasses on the dog. Okay. I forgot the olive oil. And this you do use copious, oh, Rumi, come here, Annalisa's daughter's here, come say hi. You put copious amounts of olive oil in the hummus. I almost forgot. And then, so to finish it off, when we do the part where I finish everything off, you kind of have a choice. I put this on everything, right? So you can sprinkle this and olive oil over your hummus, or you can, if you happen to be Iranian or Arab and you have this at home, sumac, you can also put sumac on there. And that you can get at Wholesome Choice. So I'm going to just leave that, and I'll put it all together when we come back. But okay. The other thing I'm going to make is, this is Iranian. This is salad shirazi. Okay, and this is another. So what I did is I just chopped the tomatoes, cucumbers. I pre-chopped them, and this is where you would put onions too. So this is where you would want onions if you're doing onions. And here we go again. Lemon, lots of lemon. So this is where. Oh, and you know what? I forgot a really important ingredient with the potatoes. I sprinkle them with lime. So I'm actually going to add that, even though they're in the oven. I forgot to sprinkle them with lime. And lime is and I forgot the turmeric. I'm going to put turmeric on them. It's anti-inflammatory. It's a really good thing to just add to your diet right now. Yeah. Because one of the things that's happening with COVID is it's causing a lot of inflammation, and not just in the lungs and different organs. So the more you can use an anti-inflammatory, the better. So you would have onions in there too. And then I, just add salt and pepper. It's pretty easy. So that's salad shirazi. And we've got our potatoes. I'm going to add some lime to that. And then the next thing, if Rumi hasn't eaten all the pita, is I'm going to just take some pita bread. We can use this later also to pack everything into sandwiches. I'm going to take the pita bread, and I'm going to take some za'atar, which is this amazing mix. And I'm going to put some olive oil. I'm going to sprinkle olive oil. I'm going to put the za'atar over it. And then I'm going to put it in the oven at the end. And then that is also something that you can use to scoop up everything. So that'll be available when I put everything together. So I don't think I've forgotten anything. I was going to make fool, but it was a different kind of bean, which I still haven't figured out. So yeah, I think that's it. Oh, one last thing, but I can also do that at the end. Yeah. I wanted to make a spritzer, because the other thing, obviously, during the month of, I could do that now, actually. During the month of Ramadan, the other really important thing, and I forgot to add cumin to I'll add cumin as well to the hummus. You don't have to, but I really like to add some cumin. I think cumin's a nice addition to that. So during Ramadan, the other thing that's really important is when you're going through this sort of spiritual cleansing is not to drink anything intoxicating. So, it just got really hot, obviously, here in Southern California. Yeah, so all of a sudden, so one thing you can do is you can make a spritzer with rose water, and actually you can spritz your face and your hair, and it's very nourishing and it smells great. You can also put it in tea and other things. But one of the things I really love is the orange blossom water.
Yes.
So what I do is you can take any, this is so simple. You can take any seltzer. I pre-made my seltzer. Hang on, there are stuffed animals keeping the refrigerator from opening. I'll just get them out of the way.
That's wonderful.
Welcome to my life. All right, so you take this, and I just take a glass, and just gonna fill it with. Here, let me take a clear glass. Just gonna put some ice. I had Rumi pick some mint from the garden. So I just take some mint and I just kind of shove it in there. And then maybe that's too much mint. I love mint as much as I love lemon.
I love it too.
Oh, it smells great. And then I put just a little bit of this, not too much over that. And then I just add the seltzer. And what you can do if you want to is you can add a little agave syrup or some honey, something like that. There's this amazing little vegan restaurant connected to the City Theater in Tehran, and they have a nice outdoor patio, and they make these drinks there. And it's funny because you can get anything, like, I mean, orange blossom, mint syrup, pomegranate, almost anything in the grocery stores in Iran. These are very sort of old recipes that have been used forever. And I don't know, growing up, people didn't really use these. And then this really cool restaurant started making these drinks with these, what they call araks. And it's just really amazing, and it's refreshing, and really nice for the weather.
Wow.
And yeah, so with the rose water one, you could also add a spritz of lemon, and you can just play around with them. If you are able to go to Wholesome Choice and get some, just get whatever looks good to you. I guess licorice isn't in store right now, but again, licorice is something that's very antiviral. So it's something that you have to be careful, though. It does bring your blood pressure down.
Yes.
So if you have high blood pressure, it's good. But if you have low blood pressure, it's not very good. Yeah. But it's, with any kind of, herb, you have to be very careful. So I think we tend to think, oh, it's just cinnamon or it's just licorice, but it's actually pretty powerful stuff. So I will leave you with this, and I will prepare the mezze and put everything out.
Yes.
And then
we'll resume then.
We'll resume.
Yes, cheers. I have some rose water, exactly the same brand as you. So I'm going to make this spritzer immediately, and we'll see each other soon. Thanks.
That sounds good.
So now we have Rumi, who's Roxanne's 11-year-old boy. And he's going to make the dessert for us. So Rumi, what are you going to make? Tell us.
Well, I'm just going to make something that I made one morning when I was really bored. So I wouldn't exactly call it food. I would call it a tasty concoction.
Wow.
I don't know. It might be poisonous. It might not. The first step is just bread. You just need bread.
Oh, wow.
I'm using pita bread, but because, like, any bread works, except for the ones with holes in it. That does not work. I thought you were making them. Okay. So do you want to say anything?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So you need bread.
Yeah.
And I'll just tell you the materials you need. Bread, any kind of bread except for the ones with holes, marshmallows, nuts, and chocolate.
Wow.
So the first step is we're just going to melt some chocolate. Very little amount, like maybe 2 pieces. No, 3 pieces. So just melt chocolate. That's step 1. And
Okay.
you want to put it in for 2 minutes and 31 seconds.
That's very precise. If it's 2 minutes and 32, we won't get it.
I don't know.
Do you want to show them your minutes while we're waiting for them? Yeah, show them the time while we're waiting.
Well, my mom wants me to show something else, but it was a concoction that I didn't exactly like, so I fed it to my dad, so I don't exactly have it anymore.
You can make it. You have more marshmallows.
No, Mom, I'm not going to make that. Okay. Melt chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
And just waiting for it to melt. Mom?
No, I'm just putting it on so they can see that it's the microwave. Okay.
Yes, otherwise.
In a microwave.
Okay. Your mom was right. We can't see you now.
I see you.
Okay.
My mom's always right.
I got that on video.
Except, well, she says, like, say I'm right, don't say anything inappropriate in front of the camera. I'm kidding. She never said that.
Go.
Okay, so.
Do you want it hot pad, sweetie?
Hot pad, sure. What's a hot pad? I was trying for one of those gloves. Oh,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yes? Don't burn yourself.
Chocolate. This is my first time being videoed, and I'm not a big fan of that. So if I stutter, ignore me. For melted chocolate, you're going to get a bigger plate for the bread because messy stuff happened. Okay, so you got the bread now. Pour the chocolate onto the bread.
Good idea.
What happened to that beautiful dessert
Mom,
you made the other
please,
day?
Mom.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Have a spoon.
Yes. How about a spatula?
A spatula, sure.
It's amazing. Try that. Remember that beautiful dessert?
Mom, yes.
You know, we are professors. We keep teaching all the time. We can't help it.
Well, this all started when I was supposed to film this, but I made one little dessert for my mother, and now she wants me here.
Yes.
Now.
It was beautiful, the dessert you made.
Video.
I was so impressed. I thought you need to share this with the world because some students may only want to use their microwaves to cook.
Yeah, okay. So your next step is take the disgusting looking bread with chocolate on it and take some marshmallows, put it on.
Wow.
2 to 3. I'm just going to go with 3. Just smudge them on and put more of the chocolate on the marshmallows. Why is this as hard as stone?
So it's a high energy dessert, right?
Okay, so, Mom, please do not video.
I'm not videoing.
Okay, so you got the marshmallows on the bread, and now what you're going to do is take a few nuts, if you have some, and just put them either in the marshmallows or on the chocolate and the bread. I prefer on the bread. If you want to put it in the marshmallows, that works, but sometimes it bursts if you try to push something in. So I'm just going to
That's a good tip.
So yeah, and smudge some more chocolate on the nuts. Basically, imagine that the chocolate's like glue. You're trying to glue everything down. And now you can put this concoction into, guess, a fridge if anybody has one.
and wait for it. So I won't be able to show the end result, but it will be more of like a kind of pie-ish thing eventually. But put it in for around half an hour to an hour, and then when it comes out, it will be ready, except you might want to put it like out for like 2 minutes to let it deharden till it's like the right temperature. So
thank you, Rumi.
That's all I have to share. And
Really want me to, if you really want me to make the minotaurs, you want me to?
Yeah, make the minotaurs.
Okay, my mom wants me to make
that do not take that long at all.
So tell us what it is. What it is, the minotaur?
They take 3, well, if anybody knows what a minotaur is, it's supposed to be a person that has a bull's head. So for this, you're going to need as many marshmallows as you want. I'm going to use 2. Each marshmallow will basically turn out at the end as a cow. I have these Persian nuts, also called ajil, I think.
Wow.
So there are a lot of different kinds of nuts here. So first, you're going to want to get the nuts. Come on. First, you're going to want to get the nuts, cashews, that look like this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of curved cashews.
Yeah.
Shove both of them into the marshmallow. Those are supposed to be horns. And take this ajil. I don't have no idea what these are called. Almonds, says my mom. And put them in where you think the mouth of this weird creature would be. Mine looks more like a bird, so a walrus bird. But just
show it again, Rumi. Show it again. Just in front of the camera.
I'll show you in a second. And just repeat that process again and again for every single one you want.
So
I found out
little animals.
Yeah, they're little animal marshmallow things.
Wow.
So yeah, and that's all I have to do for today.
So welcome back with Roxanne and Rumi, showing us the results of their preparation. And by the way, I prepared the spritzer, and I also found the orange blossom water. So it's fantastic.
To your health, Salamati. All right. So, I forgot the bread. Hang on. Watch out, Rumi, before it burns. Okay, so I just went ahead and, since the oven was hot, I put the pita in the oven. So we have our pita pockets ready to go.
Woo! Wow.
All right. So what we're gonna do? Let me get a spoon and a fork. All right. So I have prepared the mezze plate, and if you're feeding a lot of people, of course it'd be a lot bigger. But I just made it sort of 3 family member size. So what we have here is we have feta cheese, and we have the spicy potatoes, and we have the roasted cauliflower.
Yummy, yummy, yummy.
And then we have oh god, it looks good.
the cauliflower.
Does the cauliflower good? Yeah, Ruby likes cauliflower. Cauliflower is awesome. So, and then we have the yogurt. And what I did is I put some za'atar on the yogurt and some olive oil, lots of olive oil. I actually put olive oil and sumac on the feta. And then we have some olives. And then I did the hummus separately. You can put it on there as well, but we like to eat a lot of hummus. So there's and I added some sumac and some olive oil to the top of the hummus. And then here's the salad shirazi. And then what I did with this is I added some fresh mint sprigs. But what we also do, aside from lots of lemon again, is I put some dried mint on it. It's really good with dried mint. And then salt and pepper, of course. And then you have the drink. we had our tea, and I have walnuts, always have nuts around. And then, so on the side, we have the harissa for people who, so if they want something really spicy, you could open up your pita, line it with the harissa first, and then, you know, just stuff. So what we do, and then the other thing I didn't do because it was just so hot is I would have made rice. So if we're going to eat this for lunch, I just put it in the pita pockets. If we were going to have it for dinner, I would have made either brown rice or a white basmati Iranian rice on the side. And if you are a meat eater and you really want to have some meat, what's nice is you can either slow cook a lamb shank, or you can just brown, and this is pretty easy to get at Albertsons, you can brown ground lamb or even ground beef. And then once it's ground, what I like to do is just put it over the hummus. And then you can shove that in there too, which is really
yummy,
nice.
yummy.
Yeah, so it's not vegan because we have this stuff. So this is what we're gonna do. We're just gonna stuff our pita, and I like to break up the potatoes and just like stuff everything in there. Just, you know, put everything in there, and then you could drizzle it with more olive oil if you wanted to. Otherwise, here's Ruby's gonna be our taster. Come on over, show them your excitement.
Wow, wow, Rumi, I'm jealous. I'd like to taste it too. Yeah, thumbs up, up.
Absolutely 100% heavenly.
Bravo.
Rumi, do you want to show your dessert?
And then we have your dessert.
Yes, he really does like it. And then here's Rumi's beautiful postmodern dessert that he's made.
Wonderful, high energy dessert. So Roxanne, thank you so much for cooking with us today, and enjoy your wonderful food. And again, cheers.
Cheers. Thank you so much. Good luck, everyone, getting through this.
Bye.